Yo, what is up, YouTube? It's Sync Sports Bets here, and in today's video, I got 4 player props for the bowl game week as well as the playoffs are starting this week. So I am so excited to be able to bet in these games because every team is going to be fighting, especially that in these bowl games are pretty even. So the passing yards and the rushing yards for the specific players should be going off. It's usually like a trend every year that it's been pretty easy to hit on these player props during bowl game season because teams are just gonna fight. They have nothing to lose, and it's their last time. Most of these players on each team because of the transfer portal and NIL, and especially these playoff games. I do have a couple picks for the playoff games that I'm super excited about. I feel like these players are going to be going off. And yeah, let's get straight into it. As you guys see on the screen, Dylan Sampson, 93.5 rush yards. I took him a few weeks back for video picks, and he absolutely cleared it for us. Um, and I hope that he does it again. He has been literally hitting this at such a high rate, and if he doesn't hit 100 rush yards, I'd be absolutely surprised. No matter what team they play, Dylan Sampson's an absolute beast and one of the best running backs in the nation. So he's literally carrying Tennessee's team, and yeah, solid pick here. Let's go to Outlier to see his stats. Okay, so in 2024, Dylan Sampson has hit over this line 10 of 12 games. That's an 83% hit rate. He barely hit under by 1 yard or 2 yards versus Oklahoma in week 4. And then a couple weeks ago, he did not play much because they absolutely blew out this team, UTEP, as UTEP is ranked 103 in rush yards allowed. And he only had 77. So yeah, I think they're just rotating the backs in that game. He did not need to run that much, but last week versus Vanderbilt, he went off. But let's talk about the real teams that they played this year. Starting out with Oklahoma, he had 92 yards. Arkansas 138, Florida 112. You got Bama ranked 52 in rush yards allowed. He had 139. Kentucky's pretty solid, 142, and so forth. So I would say the best one to look at is probably the Georgia one. Um, but yeah, I mean, this is definitely the biggest test all year. The closest one to it would be this one versus Oklahoma, as they were ranked 10 in rush yards allowed. Now, Ohio State's ranked 7. So it's going to be tight, and I understand that. But I do know that Dylan Sampson, you can't go wrong with his hit rate, and he only needs 94 rush yards. So as long as he's progressively hitting that, I definitely think that he can hit over versus Ohio State. So let's go to the run and pass rate. They do run a lot more than pass at 58%. He has 256 rush attempts on the year. That's 47.7 rush share percentage. So basically, anytime they run the ball, they're basically giving off to Dylan Sampson. So that is a good sign to see that they're leaning a lot on his carries to be able to win games. So like this hit rate here, and I like that it's manageable versus the number 7 ranked rush yards allowed. I feel like top 5 is where you're kind of getting iffy, but this line is doable for Dylan Sampson versus Ohio State. And then our second pick of the day is going to be Klubnik. Now, we also took this guy early in the season, and he cashed out for us in a video pick. I do love his passing touchdowns or his passing yards as well. You can't go wrong with those. I wish there was a pass and rush prop up here, but it looks like it was taken off. So 25.5 rush yards, very doable for him. As last week he barely hit the under at 21. And the only problem with rush yards is only in college, not NFL, just college, is any sacks that college quarterbacks take, it will put negative on the rush yards for his player props. So that is the only risk we're taking here as they play Texas, who has a dominant defense. But I mean, yeah, he hit over versus South Carolina and other teams throughout this year. They are in the ACC, so very solid conference. And I think he's going to be playing the game of his life here. This is the game of his life, honestly. I mean, playing Texas at Texas is going to be very tough for him, but I think he'll be able to get at least 26 yards for sure. So let's go to Outlier to see his stats. Okay, so in 2024, Cade Klubnik has hit over this line 10 of 13 games. That's a 77% hit rate. He just did not hit at the very beginning of the season, Georgia and Appalachian State, but he started running a lot after the week 2 and has hit this, looks like 10 straight, and then barely hit under last week versus SMU. It does look like Texas is ranked 13 in rush yards allowed at a value of 106.8, but I do think that this is very manageable to hit. I don't think Phil Maffa will have a game this game versus Texas, just because of how dominant they are. But I do think there will be some open holes for Cade Klubnik to run through, and they also design a lot of plays for him to be able to get some more yards. So I'm looking forward to this game. Gonna be such a fun game to watch on Saturday. So yeah, let's get into our third pick of the day. It's going to be Williams for Tulsa. This guy is hit at a very high rate. He was at 43.5, has been bumped up 2 yards to 45.5. And look at this. He's been insanely hitting this line, literally doubling it in 4 or 5 weeks, it looks like. Barely hitting over versus Navy, but they do play Florida. I've watched Florida's defense. They are not good whatsoever against the pass. And I do think that as long as he's getting thrown the ball to him, he'll be able to get 46 yards pretty easily. So make sure to smash the over for Mario Williams. Let's go to Outlier to see his stats. Okay, so in 2024, Mario Williams has hit over this line 8 of 13 games. That's a 62% hit rate. They do play Florida, ranked 97 in receiving yards allowed. That is atrocious. Like I said, anything below like 25 is, it's going to be a little bit tough to hit. But anything higher than like 80 is like, okay, like this guy could hit at any time. So as long as he's getting thrown the ball, should be able to easily hit this. Let's go down here. They run 62% of the time, so not great, but good thing to note is that Mario Williams is the leading wide receiver in targets this season at 28.5% target percentage. So really like that here. And yeah, I'm very confident in this pick. I know 62% isn't what people would love to see, but in the last 5 games, he's been absolutely hot. And I think this hot streak will be able to continue versus Florida's defense. So let's go to our last pick of the day. We're going to go with Kevin Jennings. Now, I do understand that he plays a very dominant Penn State defense, but 225.5. I mean, he threw all over Clemson's defense and he barely hit under versus California's dominant defense. So I think 225.5 is very manageable. He's been pretty solid this season. After taking the starting job, he's been a backup to start the season, but he's definitely earned it. And I really like the pass touchdowns as well. I mean, he's cleared this line last 5 games. So if you want to take that, you're more than welcome to. But Penn State does hold quarterbacks to a certain amount of points for the offense. So, yeah, I think this is very solid. I would say the NFL video I posted, I'm a lot more confident in, just because we are more knowledgeable about the teams and the players and the situations more than college football. But these all are pretty high hit rates. Anything above 60% is absolutely solid. But yeah, you can't go wrong with these picks. It's hard to find a very high percentage at this point of the season for hit rates. But if you guys have any more recommendations, make sure to comment that down in the comment section below. But before I end this video, let's go to his outlier stats real quick. Okay, so in 2024, Kevin Jennings has hit over this line 62%. That's 8 of 13 games. And he started picking it up versus Florida State. That's when he really started to get a lot of playing time. So really, I wouldn't look at these games because he literally didn't even play most of the game, as Preston Stone was a quarterback and whatnot. But really, I would say all of these weeks, besides barely hitting under by 1 yard, he's hit at a 100% hit rate. So you can't go wrong with that. Penn State is ranked 16 in passing yards allowed at a value of 178.5, but that is okay. I think it's very manageable, and I think they're going to be fighting for their lives to be able to win this game and advance in the playoffs. There's obviously going to be down, and he's going to have to throw the ball majority of the game. So, yeah, I also like this not a night game because a night game at Penn State is absolute hell, and I don't think any quarterback's gonna love that atmosphere, as you guys can see in college football video game. But yeah, playing in the morning time, a lot less pressure. Obviously, it's probably going to be a wideout at Penn State, so it's still going to be very loud. But as long as he's able to connect with his receivers early on, I don't see a problem with Kevin Jennings um, being able to hit the over here. So yeah, this is my four man for this week. Um, I'm sure I'll be posting a lot more bets on Discord. So make sure to join that. Link in my YouTube bio. If you guys want to DM me personally, make sure to join the Discord as well for that reason, because I don't have any other way to contact. I don't have an Instagram anymore. I feel like that was not very effective to be able to get my channel out there. But YouTube has been very effective in getting my bets out to as many people as possible. So yeah, if you guys enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe, turn on those notifications when I post again. And hope you guys have a good week. Make sure to check my other NFL video for more picks. And yeah, you guys have a good day. We'll see ya. Peace.